And one of the many examples of Thai history just pops up as you're walking down a soi. See it time and time again. And it's got a lot of charm about the old city. Yeah, this is quite an attractive soi here. Hi. Yeah, it's very nice. There's some fairly upmarket places a little further up the road. A bit of a mix. So this is all like the commercial section just down here, but you go just a block up the road here and it's some very upmarket houses. It's one of the swishest part of Chiang Mai that I've seen actually. So I'll just give you a little short tour of it now. Yeah, just up here. But of course there's still stacks of food outlets even in this area. Even of the mobile variety. Cold drinks, sounds like a good idea actually. Getting a little past, see, it's quite a nice place here, very well manicured. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of money in some of these places. Quite upmarket. Very well established. There's a little slice of affluence here, I think. I don't know if they have really upmarket sections as such. It's probably more to do with a place like Bangkok where you've got the embassies. That's always a part of a city that seems to have the most upmarket areas. That might be here. There might be just a couple of places there. I might have exaggerated because there's nothing flashy. This is pretty standard soi. Now when we're going to go head to the main road, and that's just, you know, usual rat run being a main road, not great. But that was, you know, that was impressive, that little slice of soi there with the upmarket places. Quite impressed with that. This one's not too shabby either. Older style places. Some of these teak places, they cost a lot of dough to build these days. It's a lot cheaper to do it in contemporary material. It just reminded me that they're not big on no through road signs in this country, so I just walked down the small soi for nothing. It just went to a dead end, to a residential block. Oh, that's more curious and threatening, that dog. Didn't bark, amazingly. Yeah, it's a bit of a squeeze. And of course there's always traffic down the main road. I think it's around school time and always a bad time to sort of wander around when school gets out. Roads definitely get clogged. They're the same in Cairns, mind you. Not a good time to wander around the streets. It's one of the few times it looks busy in Cairns is when the schools are out. It just shows you how many kids there are in that place. Yeah, like I said, no through road signs are not de rigueur around here. Got back to where the impressive pop shop is. Look at the size of this place. Must be a big crime wave happening in Chiang Mai. It's big, isn't it? I'm just looking for a 7-Eleven, an alternative to the one I have to go to, which is in Tourist Central. It drives me nuts. But I don't think I can find one. There's a place back there that looks like a 7-Eleven, but it's not. I'm getting really parched in the throat. Yeah, it's just after 9 o'clock in the morning. Big sports ground there, big school, lots of schools in the old city. Yeah, I'm just heading north up towards the Moat Road, and then I'm going to do a left-hand turn to the west, head back to where CAD Central is, that big tan brick 60s sort of mall, shopping mall that I popped into yesterday. But what I'm going to do is actually go a little further to the north, the other side of the road from there, and just check out this restaurant that was recommended on a YouTube channel. And they're supposed to have very good curry meals and extremely cheap. Got a great write-up in Google as well. And I know they've got takeaway. I looked them up just before I left. And I'll buy something there, and I might even get another last meal at Tannin Market. But my digestion hasn't been great the last 12 hours or so, so I've got to be careful what I eat. So this curry might be a big mistake. Right, we'll see. But I do like curry, and apparently it's very, very nice. And it's got wet noodles and dry noodles as well, so it's a combination. So I'd like to try that one with peanut sauce. So you can also get skewers with peanut sauce. So it's apparently very, very inexpensive, and yeah, I'll give it a go, because apart from anything else, I'd just be interested to see how this guy's review holds up. It's very subjective with food. I've never found food reviews particularly useful, like restaurants and the like with travel. Accommodation's a little more reliable, but food reviews I've always found to be fairly suspect, fairly subjective. A good thing about this time of day too is there's not many tourists around, so it's like the real Chiang Mai before the hordes descend. We're around probably 10 o'clock, I presume, because about another hour's time. I doubt whether I'll get a super lot of tourists up at this place that I'm going to, because it's really more in the student area. So I think there'll be Thai students will be their main clientele. But seeing I lived in the area, I'm intrigued to see what the food's like. And it's a shame I didn't know about it, because it was really quite a convenient location for me when I was living there. But you can't know everything. There's so many food outlets in this city. I might have even passed it and not realised it was a gem. I mean, it's all possible, because a combination of bad eyesight for me and the way they compact all the businesses together, it's like a kaleidoscope of colour for me. So it could be very overwhelming. But anyway, I'm intrigued to see what this food's like, and I'll do my own little review. You know, I haven't had a bad meal here. You know, the food over here is very good. You can obviously get a crook meal. He actually admitted that he had some fish he didn't like, which is good, because these reviewers sometimes they're just there's a guy called Mark Vians who does extremely well. He's always got a smile on his face, and I think the whole thing to me seems a bit fake, but he's extremely popular, so it doesn't matter what I think. The general public lap it up. And this other guy's sort of like from I don't know, maybe from the Midwest or something in the US, and he's okay. He's a bit of a dork, and that I don't mind that. He's got a bit of personality, and he does reviews, and he's doing okay too, but nowhere near as well as Mark Vians, who just seems to basically, he's making really good money on YouTube doing food reviews. But he seems to be universally in orgasm over everything he eats, and that to me just doesn't ring true. What's the point? Unless people are so into their food that they just love watching a guy, you know, salivate every time he goes near food that's being cooked in restaurants or streets. So I'm not sure. But other thing I had to contend with, I had a bit of a guilty conscience, because I gave the previous accommodation, which was in Bangkok, not a glowing review. It wasn't totally damning, but I told it the way I saw it. Now, it's very subjective. I thought the photos were very flattering of the room that I stayed in, and looking at it again, they were accurate, but they still, it was bathed in sunshine. It looked really good, so it was a good photograph. So nothing particularly deceptive about it. But I think the host is fairly thin-skinned. She's quite a good host, and I think she's regarded as a super host or something. So, you know, she's not used to criticism, and it's that saving face thing too. You know, if you say the truth in Thailand, people can really take offence. They take it personally. I might send her a clarification email, because she wasn't a bad host. She was a reasonable communicator. So it could have been worse. But I just sometimes, you know, when I say things online, I try to be responsible, because, you know, you can easily lash out at places, and you want to think it through and make sure that you're being really even-handed as much as you possibly can. And it can be really difficult, but I take my responsibility as making a review very seriously. So I worried about that, so I'll feel better if I contact her and just clarify the situation with her, and just say, look, the place just didn't suit me, but obviously other people love it. It gives rave reviews, so it doesn't really matter what I think. And I just tell her not to worry about it, and just say, look, it's just a difference of opinion. So I feel better with that anyway. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment, or whatever. And either do that, or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.